Hello there, how's it going guys? In today's video we're going to be making a simple app using JavaScript and a library called JSPDF. It's going to be basically a sort of a product info paper just showing an image, a title and a text description, and that's all. So let me just show you a quick demo of it. Let's say this one, okay, foldable. And let's see, foldable phone description. Alright, and once you're finished that, got this little image display here, and then you say preview. There we go. Okay, you can download it because we haven't added that feature, or the library by default comes with this feature disabled. So I wanted to make something a little bigger, but I figured that it's gonna be probably a long video and maybe turns into a boring lesson. So that's why I went with that one, just to give you a quick start with this library to get you up and running, and that's the whole point of this video. So if you're asking what kind of real app you could build, I'm asking just this one because I already have created a kind of a real world app, you could say. It's actually a CV builder app built with vanilla JavaScript and of course this library. In fact, I've already prepared a fake CV example of this guy, right? I can show you that. So I've been filling this form before starting this video, and just to give you how the things work, you're gonna have to choose an image. Click here, choose whatever image you want. Okay, keep filling the form. Okay, then once you're finished, you can click preview, and that's going to give you a preview of your CV. If you're happy with that, then just download it. If you don't, you can just go back to previous tabs of this form and you can edit your copy. Alright, I think it's enough with this intro. Let's get started. Alright, now let's get started. Got 3 files, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as always. So I'm going to start doing the thing. This is going to be product info. Okay. And then we're going to have to link the CSS file. Better do that. And then the script tag, say main.js, and again I forgot to put it that way. Alright, before we start creating the input boxes, we need a form tag that will contain all of them. So I'll say form, and I'll just get rid of that, and inside here we're gonna have a header. I'll say h2, and say product information. Okay, cool. Then we're just gonna have 3 labeled text boxes, actually a couple of inputs and a text area, I think. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one, so label, and I'll just say load the image. Okay, then the input, this is gonna be file for the image. I'm going to give it an ID. It's going to be file, and it's going to accept all kinds of images, image slash the asterisk, right? Cool. Next we're going to need to create another one for the title. Let's say label, and I'll say set a title and set the input text, give it an ID called title. Just leave it. And the next thing is going to be a text area. Alright, we're just going to get rid of all of these things. We'll just set the rows to 4, and then give it an ID description. Okay, forgot to add a label. Say add a description. Okay, that's it with the form. We just have to add another button. I think it's gonna be type submit. All right, we'll say preview. Now we're gonna need to preserve an image container or an image tag for the image that's going to be uploaded by the user. So let's say image. I'm gonna set that to empty for now. I'm just gonna say product, and here I'm gonna give it an ID. It's gonna be called image displayed. Okay. One last thing is the CDN that we're going to use to bring in the library thing. So let's see here. All right, that's it. Now then, we're going to start the CSS file. So we're going to use CSS grid in the form. So I'll say form, and I'll say display grid, and I'll just place items center. Okay, let's see now. That looks better. Awesome. Quick add and flexbox. I'm going to set the width to 60%, and I'm going to have some margin. Set to and 20% to center the things in there. Okay, I'm going to have font family. That'll be sans serif. Alright, no big difference. Okay, I'm gonna go with the label now. I'll just set the margin to 10px, and then we'll just get into the input and the text area. Alright, set the width to 60%, and font size would be 18px. I'm gonna have a border 3px solid, that purple like color, say 71 EFF. Okay, you can have some padding. Bottom, set it to 1 and we'll just have a border radius. That'll be 5px. Okay, I'll save. There we have it. That looks better. Okay, what's next? The button now. Now I'm gonna go with the font shorthand property in this one. That'll take 3 attributes in our case, but it can take more, maybe up to 5 attributes. So I'll say font, set the font, weight, start with it, bold, and then the font size 20 pixel, and the font family serif, sans serif. Set the background to the same color, 70, and I'm gonna have some padding, 7px and 10px, left and right, and I'm gonna set the border to 2px solid, and that exact same color, and I'm gonna have some border radius. That'll be 5px. And finally, I've set the cursor to pointer. All right, that's it. Okay, I forgot to add the color. There you go. That looks better. Awesome. I think we're done with CSS. Cool. All right, time for JavaScript now. Now, before we start coding the functionalities, there are actually a couple of free functionalities. I want to walk you through what we're going to do so that you can get sort of a sneak peek of the workflow. So to start, we need to take the values of the inputs. Then we'll take these values, and once we click that preview button, we're going to give a call to a function that'll render the PDF in a new tab. And that's the whole thing. So if we talk about the title and the description, now these couple things are going to be easy. They're not going to be that complicated. We just need to get the elements, then their values, and then we're good to go. But the problem is with the image, which we're going to talk about later on. Okay, so to begin, we need to get the preview button, because this is the button where that we're going to use when we want to run the function. I'll say const convert is equal document dot query selector, and I'll say button. Okay, and we're going to add an event listener. I'll say whenever this is clicked, we're going to run this function called convert to PDF. All right, now let's create it. PDF. Now then, the first thing we need to do is to get the input values. So I'm going to set with the title. I'll say document dot query selector, and I'll set the title. Okay, and at the end of it, we're just going to say value, so we can get that value. All right, just duplicate this one, and we'll do the same thing with description. All right, and this is going to give us the values of those couple inputs. Then I'm going to introduce the JS PDF library. So I'm going to need to initialize a new JS PDF constructor, and this is generally called doc. It's going to be new JS PDF, just like that. Then, to write something in the actual PDF, we use the text method. We could say doc.text, and generally, for example, in our case, it's going to be title, and we set the position 30 horizontally and 50 vertically. All right, now let's just do the same thing with description, and just I'm going to set the y-axis a little bit to the bottom. Now that's it. If we say that, we're not going to get anything because we haven't called a method that is going to say whether we want to save it or we just want to take a preview in a new tab, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll say doc.output. There's this method called output, and then I'll just write this. I'll say data URL new window, just like that. No camel case. Now if you say that, I'll say test preview. There we go. I can see it. Okay, cool. So this is how to render a PDF in a new tab. So now I'm going to go with the image input box because that's the one that is, this is the one that is going to take an additional step. It's not going to be that hard though, so let's get into it. Now before getting the values of the image input, we actually need to load it. Because if you try to load it right here in this place, let's say bringing an image from here, say that one, okay, we can see the name, but we can't see it right here. So this is gonna require a handler to do this task. All right, now we're gonna get that image again. I'll say const file upload is equal to document dot query selector, and I'll put file. I guess we call that file. Yep. Awesome. And the same thing, it's just gonna say file upload dot add event listener, and this is gonna be different. This is on change handler. All right. And once this happens, we'll say load image. This is the function that we're going to write. Okay. All right. Now remember that img tag here. Where is it? That one. Yep. This is the one that is going to hold that image. Okay. The image that's going to be uploaded from here is going to be put right here, like I said. So we first need to get it. say image document dot element id this time. Say okay, and I'll just say img displayed. Then we're going to fill its source attribute with the image URL that comes from our computer. And the way we do that is via the URL interface with its static method called createObjectURL that'll create a DOM string containing a URL representing the given object in the parameter. Alright, just don't worry about these terms. I just got them from the official docs, so just bear with me. I'll say image source is equal to URL dot create object URL, and we'll pass in this one, say event.target dot the first file we have chose, right? Okay, this is line through because we haven't rewrote it here. Okay, now let's save and see if it shows it. Yep, it did. Now, in order to be able to render the image in the PDF, we have to convert its source attribute to base64, because that's what the library requires. And to do the base64 conversion, we'll head on to Stack Overflow and bring in a function right here. I believe it's the second answer. Absolutely. So we're just gonna take that. Okay, and right here, I'm just gonna paste it, and I'll just give it a call in this place. We're gonna have some changes at this point. You know what? Let's just take this from here, and I'll just put it right here. Okay. Now I'm just gonna give a call to this function. Okay, let's just say get base64 from image URL, and we're passing something here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna comment out these first lines, and right here I'm just gonna get this image again, and I'm gonna assign its source to a new variable. That's going to be image.source. Right? And then we're going to pass in the image URL right here. Okay? Now let's just go ahead and talk about that function we brought from Stack Overflow. So we first need to instantiate a new image. Okay? Just like that. Then we're going to have to set its attributes to anonymous. Cross origin attribute to anonymous, right? And then once the image is loaded, we're going to run this function. So first, we're going to create a new canvas element with JavaScript, just like creating any other HTML element. Okay. Then we're going to set its width and height to the loaded image dimensions. Okay. This one. So this one is going to be the canvas, and then he's going to set the context to 2D. This is a bidimensional context, and then he's going to use the context to draw this image in this position. All right. Next, he's just going to get the canvas and convert it to a data URL, and this makes almost everything. Now this line we don't need it. Now this one, if we didn't put if we didn't add this line, our code may not work, as stated in the comment to the answer we used, when he mentioned that the event could probably not be triggered, and that's why you should take care of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the bottom of this line, and I'm just going to log this. I'll say console.log data URL. All right, I'll save it and see something. Okay, let's say I have this one. The console, and now I'm just gonna click preview. Okay, I'm gonna have to handle that. Where is it? Here, say e, and say e.event default. Okay, and this is going to prevent page from refreshing. All right, let's take this one, click preview. There we go. We get this base64 URL encoded. Okay, this is a huge string. If we copy it, this is the cool thing, and paste it here, enter. There we go. You can see this image. Now we're going to use this image with the JS PDF library. All right. So I'm going to reuse the old code we just wrote right here. For a minute. And I'm going to paste it right here. Uncomment that, format it. Okay. So now since we have this data URLs, we can show that. We can just use a method from the JS PDF library to draw an image. So what I can do, I'm just going to say here, I'll just say doc.add image, and we'll pass in the image URL, which is the data URL we just. All right. And then we'll just set the position again, just like we did with the texts. Say 15 and 10, and we'll just say 75 by 75, which is going to be the image size. All right. Now if we say that, also test preview. There we go. Well, you can see the title and description are overlapping with that. So let's go ahead and fix it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to change the way the title and description look. We're going to use some other built-in methods from the library. So we're going to be able to change the font size, the font type, and we're going to use another thing to wrap the description content so it doesn't overcome the limits of the paper. So I'm going to start with the title now. Now the title is going to be like a header. All right. So the first thing I want to do for it is to say doc.set font size. That's going to be a little bigger. Okay. And I'm going to set the font type this time to bold, right? And then I'm going to draw the title in this position. This time we're going to have some changes. I'll say 15. Okay, just uncomment that. Now if I save that, let's say smartphone. No description here. Bold is not defined. Bold, I think it should be string. Okay, get it. You see that this gets a little bigger. All right, now we're gonna go with the description again. So this time we need to reset the font size to a smaller value. So say set font size. This time is going to be 12. By the way, this is not pixels. This is the unit used by the library. I don't know what exactly this is. And then we're going to have to reset the font type again to, where is it? To normal. All right. Say description. Now the positioning again. This is going to be 15 and 112 this time. All right. Okay, look at that. Well, let's say test preview. There we go. If we have some kind of larger text, for example, let's say alarm 30, okay, and I'll just go back here and paste it. Let's see what happens. Yep. The rest of the text is gone. So one way to fix that is using the split text to size that comes from the library. So we're going to use that method. Say const split description, and I'm just going to say dot split text exactly to size, and we'll pass in the description, and we'll say then the limit is going to be 182. This is like an endpoint that limits the content. Now here instead, we're just going to say split description. Save that. Save that. Go and paste that in preview, and there we go. That makes sense. So I think we can fix the line height here, and this can be done here in the JS PDF constructor. We can set line height to 1.5. Save that. Okay, I'll say full. Paste that in preview. It's a little better. Alright, I guess that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful today, and see you later.